All right, welcome to Atlanta and the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR series. I'm Rick Souza here in the booth with my co-broadcaster, John Drugis. And John, we're about to do the Super Speedway mini version all over again.
We are. Back-to-back weeks of side-by-side, action-packed drafting. It doesn't get any better than this because the first two races of the year, I call them wild cards. You never know who's going to win because with only, one quick repair and a lot of guys in the field, I think all 40 of these guys could bring home a win today. Because Atlanta is such a fun track. I raced in this track the other night, and let me tell you, my nerves were just completely on edge all race long because of how tight these corners are here at Atlanta. So excited to be back.
So with where we're at now with this league, there are 45 entries currently showing on the board. There are only 40 spots going forward. So once we get to qualifying, some teams will have to pack up their hauler and head home as we set the field with 40 entries.
Yeah, so you got to definitely be on your game here with 2 qualifying laps as well. That's going to be a big factor in this race. Who's going to make it, who's not, because you never know what happens in qualifying. You're like, oh, put the pedal down, you'll be fine. But if you slip up, if you wreck, you could possibly be out of this race because we are only going to run 40 cars. So got to pay attention to that. We're going to get through all of that fun stuff once qualifying starts. We got about 3.5 minutes left of practice right now. Fastest time run by Alex Murphy there at a 29.601. Pretty fast in the draft, and that's what's going to win here, drafting.
So Atlanta's a tough track, recently repaved just over 2 years ago, and now a completely new format as far as how you get in and out of the pits.
Yeah, you have to go down essentially on the backstretch into turn 3 and meet minimum speed. It's a part of essentially trying to make it safer for these drivers and for teams, not only in the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity, and Craftsman trucks, but also here on iRacing, especially in the iNRS, to make it safer for these guys. You'll see right about, well, I didn't really see it, but it happened. It's right there, basically, the entrance of turn 3. You'll see that drivers have to make their way down there, and if not, you get black flagged. So that's one thing you can't have happen on super speedways, get black flagged, because you'll be way off pace, way behind, and hoping for a caution.
So we'll do our best to kind of keep you up to date when we see something like that happen. Let's go on. We've got time here and just look at the race conditions.
Let's take a look at it. 83 degrees in the air right now, partly cloudy, track temp at about 101, so a little slick out there. You see some guys making their way down pit backstretch, technically. 130 laps in tonight's event with a stage break at the end of lap 43. 1 quick repair, 5 sets of tires, and you also have 60% fuel. So that's going to be a major key in tonight's race. 3 green-white checkers will also be a part of tonight's Ambetter Health 200, and it's going to be a wild one. Rick, really quick, let's recap, what we saw last week at Daytona. We saw a wild finish between, Travis Bennett. You saw Ty Callamore. You saw all those guys battling up there, a crazy race to the end. But Travis Bennett got the win, locked in currently into the playoffs, and is leading right now in the standings. He's ready to go. So looking at this, you have a lot of good drivers that can make their way up and win this race. Looking at Alex Murphy, looking at Eric Jeffers, looking at all these guys, as well as the 40 XLI guys. Rick, they are clearly, right now, the team that looks the most put together, not only because you can tell what cars they're driving, but just how well they worked last week at Daytona.
Yeah, the previous winner here in previous season was Jordan Wenzel. And we expect to see Jordan up there battling as well. Again, you got to qualify to get in. One bad qualifying session, even the best driver could fail to make it. Now, top 10 in points right now, Ty Callamore, Travis Bennett, Tyler Lem, Alex Murphy, Jordan Booth is up there, Eric Jeffers, Eddie Musso, Nick Alves, Sean Walton, Ty Bostic, and Michael Whitney. That's your top 10. And you're right, the 40 XLI guys, that's the team to chase. Those guys were on fire. So we expect to see the guys at Rumble and at full throttle trying to chase them down.
For sure. And, we have another drafting track, 40 XLI. We've already seen them do well. Can full throttle motorsports there, like you mentioned, keep up with it? What's going to happen? We got to talk about the big one. At Atlanta, I think it's even more prevalent, because you're trying to make it through a smaller track. It's a faster track. You're going, longer distance or shorter distances in faster time. So you got to make sure you navigate the narrow track. You got to make sure you make the right moves, and also pit stops. Pit stops under green are not counted out. You might have to pit under green here at Atlanta, and so you have to get down onto the apron in turn 3. You have to make sure you're paying attention to your tire wear because that matters here. And we saw Tuesday night really quick. When it comes to the truck series, we saw Jordan Booth, Travis Bennett, Jordan Winsel up front. And Wednesday, you saw Cody Graham scoring the win with Jordan Booth, Eric Jeffers there in the top 3. So Jordan Booth putting on what I'm going to call a clinic in all 3 series in the iNRS. We'll see if he can continue that tonight and see if he could possibly get his first win of this new season in iNRS. Looking right now, there's Travis Bennett, last week's winner in that 01 Bucky's paint scheme. He's running that high line, Rick, trying to get some runs out of turn 2, and then possibly going to dive down coming out of 3 and 4 to get a run for his fast lap.
Yeah, so we're beginning to see some of the times begin to trickle in here. Drivers are putting them up as their first. Now, that's just their first lap, but we'll see how it goes. What could be a better? Now, here at Atlanta, you are allowed in qualifying to drop down below that line, but certainly during the race, that may be an issue.
Yeah, definitely an issue. We'll see how this plays out as the race goes on. But right now, we know that about 4 to 5 guys are going to be sent home. We're only going to have 40 cars in this field tonight.
All right, well, while we're watching some of the qualifying, John, let's get your keys to this race.
Oh, yes. So Atlanta, like we mentioned before, it's not like any other track on the circuit. It's a super speedway basically built into a half mile. And with this new configuration, it is something that is just absolutely wild. So you have to make everything count. You have to make every move count. So starting with number 1, you got to avoid pushing in the corners. You can't have it. You can't do it. Now, you can do it for a little while, but you have to make sure your moves and your pushes are absolutely perfect. If you're a little bit off center to the right, a little bit off center to the left, you're going to create the big one. So you don't want that to happen.
Oh, that's Kai Collimore right now.
Oh, that's Kai. Is he has not run a lap, has he?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, that's a story. Kai Collimore, possibly. Oh, no, he did. He ran a lap.
Yeah, but was it fast enough to qualify? Right now, I think he's sitting 13th. That may have just been his last lap, so
yep,
we'll see.
Yeah, so we will see on that. But yeah, avoid pushing in the corners. Number 2, you have to pit in groups just due to the nature of super speedway quote-unquote plate racing. This is going to be a group effort, a team effort, and pitting in numbers is going to be your fastest way around this 1.5 mile super speedway. And also number 3, watch your pit entry. I think this is where a lot of drivers are going to be caught up, because at every other track on the NASCAR circuit outside of road courses, you are going to be pitting basically on the exit of the corner. Not here in Atlanta. You are pitting in turn 3. That's where you have to dive down. So making sure that you're down to speed, you're making every move count, you have to watch your pit entry. And that is my 3 keys to the race, to make sure you can actually get home in one piece and possibly bring home a win to lock yourself into the iNRS playoffs. So, Rick, we got about a minute left. Looking at the tail end of the field, Ty Bostic is the only driver who has not put up a time. But Martin Pinnell, Vince Burns, Michael Bennett, and Brandon Ishkanyan are the 4 drivers right now that are below the cut line.
Yep. Right now, Alex Forjay Berube is on the bubble right now at the 40th spot, and he is hoping that Ty Bostic can't get a faster lap than that. That last lap wasn't going to get it. He needs a better lap.
He does. He is now. He's a pro. It's going to be close, Rick. I don't know if he's going to make it to the line. He has 10 seconds to make it to the start-finish line, or this lap will not count for his lap number 2. 5 seconds to go.
He's
3,
just coming out of 4.
2, 1, 0, 3, 2. He did not make it. Ty Bostic did not make the field. So Brandon Ishkanyan, Ty Bostic, Michael Bennett, Vince Burns, and Martin Pinnell will not make tonight's race. That means Alex Forjay is on that 40th place position. So unfortunate there.
Man, he just needed about 2 more seconds to pull that off.
He did. Unfortunate there for Ty. Hopefully we'll see him next week.
All right, so there's about 4.5 minutes or so while the drivers enter they've got a little driver meeting that has to occur prior to the start. But there also is some opportunity for practice. I think at some point we are seeing a few cars make their way out onto, at least on the track. So we'll see what happens next. But hey, I'm looking forward to this. You know, we've been broadcasting this iNASCAR league for and tail end of last year and last season and their championship series, and now back full bore every week here, and it's nothing but exciting.
Nothing but excitement, and you're going to be on the edge of your seat all race long. I mean, you do not want to miss any action here at Atlanta. It's a wild race. It is one that I've enjoyed watching, being a part of, and it is purely, along with a lot of skill, slight luck when it comes to how you race this track. So when it comes to, if you're able to make it through the big one, and that's, it's going to happen. Every time I've raced here, every broadcast we've called, the big one has happened at Atlanta. And right now they got one quick repair. So, you get one more shot at it. But you don't want to use that too soon. With 130 laps, you definitely don't want to use that too soon.
Well, and the challenge you face here at Atlanta that you don't have in Daytona or Talladega, which is the 2 super speedways, those are both 2.5 mile ovals, is they're also wider. This track is your typical 1.5 miles. It's not as wide, and it all funnels down into aprons and some bailouts on the backstretch, but it is so easy to get collected. You may just be the innocent bystander, but you're going to get completely taken out by that spinning car in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a unique place to race, and there's a lot of mixed opinions about it. I personally love super speedway racing, but I also love a tire management race. I also love high lines. I love low lines. So I think, with this race, you're going to get a mixed bag. So it's going to be interesting to see specifically how this race goes and who's going to end out on top, because looking at the field, it's a pretty even split among who's going to be up at the front when it comes to lap time. So it's all about right place at the right time, who's going to get the push, who's not going to get the push. And we've seen those 40 XLI guys been able to do it. They've been able to do it all season long. I know we've only had one race, but it seemed like every single time we panned over to the team, they were together, except for that last stint. So it'll be a big team emphasis in tonight's race. So want to make note right now, everybody did qualify. We are now about just under a minute and a half until we get the green flag for tonight's race. The previous winner was Jordan Winsel, and right now Jordan Winsel is starting in 10th. So he's going to have go back to back here. He in the iNRS regarding to Atlanta, that is, he's going to have to come from 10th place. But I mean, looking through the field, you have Jordan Booth He's back there. We'll give the starting lineup here in a little bit, but Martin Giroux back there. You have Piracini's back there, Josh Douglas. A lot of good guys, a lot of good cars, a lot of strong drivers mixed throughout the field.
Yeah, so 38 seconds left. We'll wrap up this warm-up period, and we'll get you the starting grid and take a look at who's won that poll and get you ready to go green flag racing here in Atlanta. Again, we want to thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast here each and every Thursday night as we cover the iNRS series. We hope that you'll take the opportunity to like and follow along and allow whatever streaming platform you use, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter X, whatever, to notify you to say, hey, there's a race coming up, you might as well tune in. You can do that you'll get information also on our Wednesday night series. That is the Tech for Troops Cup Series. Very similar series as this. Happens on each and every Wednesday night. So tune in, and we would love to have you following along.
Alrighty, Rick, I think it's time. It's time to give you your starting lineup for tonight's Ambetter Health 200 at Atlanta with the iNRS series. All right, starting on the pole, winning last week. Now on the pole again, you got Travis Bennett, followed by James Jones in second, Simon Magin in third. In fourth, you have Jonathan Devarnicus in fifth, Eric Jeffers, sixth, Alex Murphy, seventh, Alberto Abar. In eighth, you have Michael Whitley Jr. in ninth, Scott Thomas, and in 10th, Jordan Winsel.
All right, Mr. Corey Bunch starts in 11th on the inside. Garrett Walden on the outside in 12th. Kai Collymore in 13th. John Krupa in 14th. Richard Mills in 15th. Tyler Lem in 16th. Clark Franz in 17th. Michael Wheel in 18th. Cody Graham in 19th. And Tony Japs in 20th.
In 21st, you have Eddie Musso Jr. In 22nd, Jordan Booth. In 23rd, Corey Ennis. In 24th, you have Sean Walton. In 25th, you have Mark Hannon with Brandon Hayes to his outside. In 27th, you have Matt Perusini to his outside. In 28th, you have Ron Fitting. In 29th, you have Nick Alves. And in 30th, you have Josh Douglas.
31st starts Gene Duda, Martin Giroux in 32nd, Dan Hughes 33rd, Vernon Broadbeck in 34th, Matthew Robinson 35th, and Glenn Stanley in 36th. In 37th, you've got Tyler Sexton. Tyler Thurman is in 38th, Jason Hale in 39th, and Alex Forget Barubi is in 40th. Those other drivers that appear there did not make the field. It was closed at 40.
Yeah, tough break for Ish Canyon there, as well as Ty Bostic and a handful of other drivers. So we'll see what happens here tonight at Atlanta. Watch out for that 72 machine of Jonathan Varanaskis. He's a strong one there, as well as look at
Eric Jeffers right
in the
there.
back.
Yeah.
A lot of strong cars here tonight at Atlanta. Pace car makes its way down pit road. We're about to get the Ambetter Health 200 Atlanta underway. Green flag is now waving, and we are off here at Atlanta.
Great jump by Travis Bennett. Able to jump right out front, but once these field get collected, they will run him down. This is one of those tracks where you're partly driving out the front windshield, and you've got to keep at least one eye to what's happening behind you.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the dust coming off the track right now because these 40 cars have not been on the track altogether. You see the outside line really shift up as you have double file about 20 rows deep right now. Travis Bennett leading lap number 1, but here to the outside, you have the 46 machine of Simon Magin there trying to get a run.
He's got the 72 of Jonathan Devarnakis right there behind him. The 30 is to the outside as well. That's Alex Murphy.
Simon Magin now takes the lead out of turn 4. He's going to lead a lap. That high line surges.
Oh, a little bit of a move up. Not exactly
It
sure
was.
what that car number is. I think that's Michael Whitley Jr.
I think it was. I think it was for sure. So
Yeah, you can do a lot of things here in Atlanta. I'm not sure 3 wide is a good way to go early in this race.
I'd save that for the pros. I'd save that for the guys that are racing on Sunday or Saturday. I think it can be done, but the tricky part is the tri-oval, because it's not like any other super speedway. At least when I was racing in the trucks here a few nights ago, I knew when I was on the bottom, I had to follow where that leader was going. Some laps he would go down below the white and yellow line. Some laps he would stay above it. So it's very, very risky to go 3 wide here, because you don't know what that inside line's going to do. And Magin comes down, almost got in front of the 01, not able to do it. But hey, Rick, you want to know something? We're already 5 laps into this 130-lap affair at Atlanta. Laps go by quick.
They sure do, and you've got to be pretty calculating as to where you're going to be. Again, you've got 60% fuel, so that's going to burn up pretty quickly. And timing your pit stops here, man, I do not want to be the crew chief for any one of these guys.
I wouldn't either. It's a handful. It's the best way I can put it here at Atlanta.
You don't have a lot of time. If you're going to make a decision on a bigger super speedway, 2.5 miles, even though you're running a little bit faster, you've got some time to think about, okay, am I going to go in now? I'm going to wait. You don't have that here. You've got to decide early and get prepared, because you're dropping down on the backstretch to get into 3 and then into 4 and then getting down onto pit road.
Right, and what's to say that if a guy up in the front pits and misjudges how fast he's going into turn 3, he doesn't slide back up the track? I mean, it is all fair play here at Atlanta. Rick, I don't know if you want to zoom out, but we have side-by-side racing probably for about 20 rows. The entire field is literally side-by-side right now. Pretty cool to see. All the way on back, there is not one row that has less than 2 cars in it. So we are racing side-by-side, 40 cars here. What a great sight to see.
Looking all the way back, the tail end of the field, and you're right, John. Now there is definitely towards the middle of the pack here. There's some guys that are saying, hey, am I going to stay on the low side? Am I going to migrate to the high side? What's my best opportunity to move up? And, it's hard to get around somebody here. So you've got to be patient and calculating to figure out how to move and change position here.
Yeah, and the name of the game at Atlanta's track position. You have to have good track position. If not, you're done. I mean, not done, but it's virtually impossible to pass here unless somebody makes a mistake in front of you. Because you could try to go to the high side, like you see Kai Calamore potentially doing right now. Well, not going to work.
Yeah, and so the concern I've got is when you do that, if that guy behind you gets a run on you and you're not prepared, he could easily find himself tucked under your left rear quarter panel and just take you out.
Yeah, we know what happens when you get a little off-centered, or if you get into the back of somebody's quarter panel on Super Speedway. We saw that in every race this past weekend at Daytona. We've seen that not only in the iNRS, but in the Texas Troop Cup Series on Wednesday nights. It's not pretty. It is rough, and it typically causes wrecks, and that's nothing other than just the art of this new racing style. So we'll see what happens. But right now, we got a new leader on the bottom lane. Yep, the 4 machine who has made his way up to the bottom. That is Whitley. Got in front of the 01 of Travis Bennett.
Yeah, Michael Whitley kind of was back there 4th or 5th and worked his way up strategically. Is now running. He's leading that low line. Of course, he's battling Simon Magin up top, but you got to be playing chess here, especially at Atlanta.
It is a big game of chess right now, and my current chess move, knowing where we are in the current race, I like that high line. I found it to be a little bit more stable than the low line. I found it to be a little bit more forgiving, and you have a little bit more room to run your car. And also, the great thing about the high line is, if you get out front, by 2, 3, 4 car lengths, and somebody dives down to the bottom line, they're probably not going to battle you too hard. So if you just stay up there and you keep on going, if you're, behind that first car in the high line, you could take the lead on the bottom by simply slipping down to the bottom lane, as we see the bottom lane start to dissipate a little bit. But keeping that high line strong has been, a good strategy. Car on the wall in turn 3. We are 3 wide, Rick, about mid-pack. It's a Napa car. Is it Napa? I can't tell.
It's at 42. Coffee. We're still green here.
Yeah, he was kind of riding the wall in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's Tony Japson, the 42. I'm not sure that was Tony, but certainly we're going to try and pan back a bit and see what we see. A lot of action throughout the field as drivers are working their way up and trying to find a spot. Again, you've got to take a gamble on how is it possible to move up and work their way around that competitor.
I think it's the high line. I really think the high line is where you want to be if you want to make a move, because the inside line, you have nowhere to go. You can't move up. If you do, you're going to go 3 wide, get sent to the back, or you're going to wreck. If you're in the high line, at least you have the chance of, getting enough cars behind you. You can sort of push everybody up a little bit, and hopefully some guys start to drop down from the high line to the bottom line, and you'll be able to, slowly, methodically make your way up to the front. So right now, as it stands, though, we have Simon Madgen up there at the top of the point with Jonathan Varanaskis in second, Michael Whitley, Alex Murphy, Jordan Winsel, Travis Bennett, James Jones, Garrett Walden, Eric Jeffers, and Kai Collymore, your top 10 here. Hasn't really changed much since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, the gap really is almost inconsequential right now because they're all just nose to tail. The entire field is 40 cars, 2 by 2 by 2.
And all I got to say is shout out to every single driver. I mean, Rick, I've been in races that, have had more cautions in the first 19 laps than this race has had, which has been 0. I've had 4 or 5 cautions in the first 19 laps at Daytona or Talladega, and they're doing this on a 1.5 mile that is narrower, faster than what a super speedway would be at these terms. So I got to give a shout out to every single driver now about 20 laps into this race. So one thing we got to talk about, though, Rick, is fuel, especially with the leaders, the 46 and the I believe that is the 94 on the bottom lane.
It is
Michael Whitley.
Yep.
They got to start thinking about what they're going to do with fuel because you're out front, you are using more gas than everybody behind you, so you are going to have to pit sooner versus these guys that have been saving. I mean, we saw major savings in the Daytona 500 that we've probably never seen before, so I'm curious what their fuel mileage is going to be.
So at 60% fuel, are we thinking around between 35 and 38 laps to first pit stop or sooner?
I would expect if you're the leaders, probably a little bit on the sooner side. I may see 34. If you're back in this line, you maybe could even push to 38. But we will have to see now coming to lap 22 of 130.
I do see that there is one car that is straggling back there. That is Tyler Thurman. He is, and also the 50 of Martin Giroux is pretty much way behind. He's outside of the draft that this pack is making. But they're going to catch Tyler Thurman. Tyler last lap was running, was a 31.75, jumping up to the leaders That was a 30.55, so they're a full second faster.
Wow. Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to have happen. You do not want to be caught off, behind this pack. And also, we may see our first chaos moment here as we have a lap car that is nearing the front of this pack.
Yeah, that's not the lap car. That's Tyler Thurman. That's he is the last car on the lead lap.
On the lead lap, yep, Tyler Thurman. I mean, I don't know how race control is going to play this out, because this is different than a super speedway. You can't go 3 wide, especially with the car as much of an off pace as he is. Right now, Tyler Thurman's going 170. The leader's going 180. So, I mean, a 10-mile-an-hour difference. You got 40 cars behind you. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But it looks like the high line has started to prevail. There is the lap-down car, the High Rock Vodka Chevrolet of Tyler Thurman.
And they have caught him.
I don't know.
We're going to kind of keep an eye on Tyler here to see what happens.
Oh, it's going to be at the Tri-Oval, too. This is probably not a great time to catch the number 11 car.
I think that Highline's going to do okay, but, here comes Michael Whitney right there. He's got trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to check up. There's no other way to do it. He's going to have to check up.
You saw that Alexa car come down. That's going to kind of, okay, we'll look at that. So Tyler Thurman dropped off the racing surface onto the apron, let this pack go by. Careful, Tyler. That where that white stripe is, that defines the racing surface and the apron, it is super easy to make a mistake there.
It is, and that was great racing, I think, by the 11. Great sportsmanship. See him do that and make that move. He knew he was going to go a lap down, and that's a phenomenal move. I think that shows a lot of class right there. So right now, as it stands, Tyler Thurman is the only car 1 lap down, so he should get the lucky dog. But another driver who's good at these tracks, Martin Giroux, he is also 14 seconds off the pace. And nowhere near running any lap times that are similar to these leaders. So we'll see what happens with him. But pit stop should be happening here within the next 10 lap, I imagine.
Yep, and if you're off the pace like that, you get a chance to kind of get a do-over and start and come in. But of course, he's out there by himself. You can see from the track map, you got this large glob of cars. That's the entire field. 39 cars all wadded up together. And then Martin Giroux by himself entering turn 3. Now he's got enough
a mover.
Yeah, he's got enough delta between himself and the regular pack. He probably is going to dog paddle a bit through to the first round of pit stops and maybe do okay.
Yeah, he should be all right. We'll see what happens, but we are officially 30 laps into this race of 130, so just about 100 to go.
Kind of looking back here towards, after the first 6 spots, there's a lot of movement going on. And, if you're part of this group right now and you've got a pit coming up 5 laps or so, man, you don't want to do it from the high line.
No, you do not want to do it from the high line. Also, that was a very aggressive move that we just saw. Kai Collmore was not happy with, I believe,
he just dropped down below the racing surface.
Jordan Wenzel. So he was not happy with Jordan Wenzel right there. Jordan Wenzel kind of cut him off going into turn 3, and Kai Collmore was like, you know what, I'm just going to kind of push right through you. Moved into the high side.
So you've got Jordan. Well, you've got 2 teammates right there with 40 XLI. Got Kai Collmore right there.
Now they're going some 3 wide action here in Atlanta. That's not where you want to be.
Jordan Booth.
Got some major checkups happening on this bottom line. It looks like everybody's forming up on the bottom, Rick. You know what happens when everybody forms up on the bottom, right? Pit stops.
Yep, absolutely. So 32 laps are in the books. We're expecting to see a round of pit stops momentarily. but good racing so far, 33 laps.
Got some side-by-side action for about 5th place. That's the 240 XLI guys. Kai Collmore up there, trying to battle alongside. And Jordan
remember, you've got the stage break coming up here in 10 laps. So the question is, do you get the pit stop in, or can you make it to the stage break?
I'd be surprised if they can. Well, no, I'd be surprised if they can make it to the break, Rick.
Man, that's maybe the powers that be figured this out. Maybe they can make it to lap 43 on the first tank of fuel, and then it becomes the obvious time to pit. We don't. One thing we don't have is a handle on the fuel economy right now with these drivers.
Yeah, we don't, and we're about to find out. I mean, we have 8 laps until the end of stage 1, or the first stage, the stage break, I guess. They don't have stages, technically speaking, like NASCAR does, but the stage end will end on end of lap 30 or 43. So we'll figure it out. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air on this one too. I mean, hitting with 6-7 laps to go in the stage doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I am hearing some chatter over the radio right now. Rick, this could be it. Here we are.
There we are. They're on the back stretch. They have dropped down where you need to. If you don't do it, you're going to want to get him black flagged. So yeah, we have leaders about to enter pit road.
Oh, Simon Madgen was really fast entering pit road. I don't know if he got slowed down. He was at about 65 miles an hour when he hit that line. Be surprised if he didn't get a black flag. But I don't see anything on my end. Maybe he got it woed down enough. But what that's going to do is put Jordan Booth out front, Rick.
These are fuel-only stops.
46 did get black flagged. They're holding them.
Yeah.
Unfortunate there for the 46. Up front all day long. But, the good thing he has on his side is a caution coming up here soon. But right now we have Jordan Booth leading with now. He just dropped down. Now, that was interesting. Jordan Booth came down pit road, but his teammate did not. Kai Collmore did not follow the teammate down pit road.
Well, I guess he's assuming that he can pit with the guys he's running with right now. And he's getting a chance to lead a lap.
Yep, already led that lap.
So about half the field has made it through onto pit road. Expecting the next 16 to do it.
I believe the 39 of Kai Collmore is coming down pit road this time by. It looks like got some other communication that some other drivers behind him will also be following them down pit road. Here we go. Kai is going about 142 miles an hour now on the apron. Trying to make it down, woed down. Here he goes. Got slowed down just in time there. Alrighty, now we have 2 laps to go in this stage. Into 43 is when this stage break's going to end, which is going to shake up the entire field. And if you look at the field, Rick, everybody's spread out. Look at the track map.
Absolutely. And of course, the 3 guys who are still out there, 1, 2, 3, Scott Thomas, Alberto Abar, Jonathan Krupa, Alex Forget-Berube, they have not pitted with just 1 lap to go for the stage.
I mean, they may be trying to get a stage win. Maybe. Oh, no, here comes Scott Thomas right now, which is only going to leave just a few guys out on the track.
That's A-Bar. He still has to make this lap.
And that's it. Well, I guess he has to make this lap and then...
Yeah, the flag will not come out until the end of lap 43. He has got, I guess, some extra...
Whoa, big block or something.
He is actually coming down on the stage into the pit.
Interesting call.
But can he cross the start and finish line before he gets run over?
We'll see. I mean, he technically held the lead, so...
He is still showing in the number 1 position.
I mean, not a bad strategy. He just technically... Uh-oh, pit lane has just been closed.
But he's already in it.
Should be good. So, the end of 43, right?
He has not cycled back yet. He's now out, back on the track. Oh, that's it. Those guys just passed him. So, Jordan Booth currently showing in the lead and will... There it is. There's the caution. That basically marks the field.
Interesting.
That's our competition caution, the end of the stage break.
We just got 43 laps of green flag action for you guys.
All right, so while this caution's going on, everybody has already pitted, with the exception of Michael Whitley Jr.
Is he the leader?
No, he's not the leader. He's currently sitting in 6th. For some reason, we're not showing that he pitted at all.
I don't see how that's possible because he'd lap the field technically, right?
Yep.
Well, we're about to find out. We'll see if these guys come in and top off on fuel. Hey, look at that.
Coming down. Yep, absolutely. So pretty much everybody pitted last. They all came down, and they just took fuel, no tires for most of the competitors. Question is, what will they do here? Tires. Little overshot there. That was by Alberto A-Bar. So a full set of tires and fuel for Michael Whitley. Jonathan Krupa did not come in. And we're waiting for the field to put itself back together after this pit stop on lap 45. Going through the field, nearly everybody came in. There are some folks at the tail end. Gene Duda, Poppy Duda, I am currently showing in 33rd. He's at the tail end, I believe, of the lead lap, but we'll get that on the scoring tower figured out.
Well, Rick, we're 46 laps into this race. What are your thoughts so far?
I am pretty impressed, actually. 46, 47 laps in, 45 laps under green flag conditions. We saw green flag pit stops. We saw respectful, knowledgeable drivers who know. You've got, you do have a quick repair, but they're not risking it. They're not willing to hang it out there.
Now, how long is that going to last?
Well, this race is 130 laps. Lap 128. and then all
There we go.
all bets are off. The aggressiveness to get to the front, to get a better starting position, it's all on the line.
Yep, and I think track position is so important now more than ever. So we'll see what happens now as Krupa in that 29 car on the bottom line will lead them off.
Now here you do get lane choice. I think Jordan Booth actually wound up being, he came out up front, so he did get lane choice, and he's chosen the outside line. Pace car has dropped off the racing surface.
Alrighty, here we go. And green flag back out here at Atlanta. Great restart on the inside line as well as the outside line.
Yeah, it's like there's definitely a lot of gaps. It's like they were just spread out on that restart. Caught a few drivers.
You need to make a move.
Sleeping.
Yeah, do it now. You got to make a move now if you haven't already to make it up back to the front. But it looks like, wow, a huge separation.
Yeah, 8 cars jumped out. If I go back to the 9th car, there's now some stragglers. That's Clark Franz, Brendan Hayes in the 40. Tony Japs is beginning to lead that next group. James Jones, Matthew Robinson, Corey Ennis.
Really quick, we have Alexis Finley saying, "Let's go Grease Monkey Motorsports." Number 35, Tyler Sexton. Number 3, Ron Fitting. And 5, Richard Mills. So shout out to some of the individuals on YouTube.
Yep, so right now Richard Mills is currently showing back in 18th position. Let's look and see where we've got the rest of our drivers. Tyler Sexton is right now towards the tail end of the lead lap. Back in 29th. Ron is Fitting is right there with him from Sumter, South Carolina. That's about an hour and a half
like
south of our broadcast station.
Awesome to see. Also love that number 3. Love the paint scheme on it. But it looks like the whole field has gotten back up to stuff.
Yep, they have caught back up. I'm just watching that. Is that 39 that just goes a little bit wide coming through 4 and just want to, it just scares me. Just think someone's going to come up and tap him right there and take him out. You know, of course, you're trusting the guy behind you. I think he's got the 42 right there behind him.
Yeah, I don't know how much I would trust anybody in racing. Not saying that's a bad thing, but, you know, there's only one winner. 42 losers. Well, in this case, 39 losers. Cars reference there. But, you know, it's every man for himself. Everybody for himself at the end of the race. So, you know, trust now can mean a little bit, but down the line, you know, your teammate wants to win as bad as you do. So, and also trust within, you know, reaction times. Everybody has a different reaction time, reaction speed. And we've seen that where guys just don't react in time. We've got a little bit of a push there between the 39 and the 72 on the high line. That's the first time we've seen a push basically, you know, 3-4 cars back. We'll see how aggressive the pushing gets, but right now, Rick, we are back to double file racing for about 20 rows.
All right, after that first round of restarts, we got 31 cars currently on the lead lap. Approximately 9 drivers who are not. Keeping an eye on the front, John Krupa is currently showing up front. Jordan Booth in that 41 to his outside. And as that's kind of a push me, pull you, we'll see which line will run together better. It looks like to me, I could be wrong, is that lower line, those first 4 guys is, you know, very well organized. and they're able to just nose out a car length or two over that outside line, which is struggling a little bit to stay organized. You got those two 40 XLI guys right there, kind of bookending those first. Well, we got three of them all in a row, first, fourth, and sixth, I think.
Yep. And we'll see if they're able to get nose to tail like we've seen them do back in Daytona. So, but right now, Jordan Wenzel there in the high line, previous winner of this race last year. So he's battling up there. Need to, Jordan Booth as well. And we see a lap car. Here we go. Another lap car in front of the field here. That's Martin Giroux.
Yeah,
we'll see what Martin does. Yep. Oh, no. Rick? Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oh, no.
He's staying up folks, high.
I hope they can make it through this.
We're going to key on Martin. He is doing a fabulous job trying to hold it up high. Field is doing a great job working their way around him.
Yep, just needs to get through a couple more cars and he'll be fine.
He can drop down after the 23 if he chooses to.
There he goes. All right. Well, if you just had your blood pressure go up, well, join both of us. We just had a little bit of blood pressure spike right there with that because we knew it was going to be tight racing all the way back with that lap car, Martin Giroux. So back up front, you have Jordan Booth followed by Wenzel, Jonathan Krupa, Eric Jeffers, Varanauskis, and Bennett. That rounds out roughly your top six. As we have another lap car, Rick, right up in the front, Glenn Stanley in the 03 machine.
Yep, looking for, watch Glenn here as that field comes up upon him. Nice paint scheme.
And love the paint scheme. I just hope it stays that clean.
Oh,
no, he doesn't. Oh.
Yep, just tagged the wall a little bit. Easy to do here in the tri-oval. Again, good racing. He's holding that line.
He's actually getting a decent side draft off the cars next to him.
Yep. Kind of holding our
able
breath
to
a
keep
bit
up.
here.
Yeah. More 3 wide. There's a 99 there as well as the 10.
Yeah, the 10 had dropped down.
Nice.
He could have just dropped in the line there. But no, that 5 has now come up underneath. Oh, a little bit of contact.
90, so 67 got loose.
Yep. Super good. They made it through. There's good avoidance there. That 67 is Corianis. Tyler Thurman may have gone off track. Not sure exactly what happened with Tyler.
Not sure, but hey, we are still green flag racing here at Atlanta, 64-130 complete.
Let's see if we can figure out just what happened to Tyler real quick. That's at High Rock Chevrolet. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Did his bumper just disappear and reappear?
It did, actually. It did. It was magic. It's iRacing magic. So he kept it together.
Yeah. Probably got a quick repair, I would assume.
Yep. Don't know how that happened the way it did, but it is. Okay, well, that explains a lot. Tyler getting back on the track.
I want to have whatever he's having. Because that was an amazing front bumper reconnection there. Whatever's in the High Rock vodka, it worked.
Yeah, yeah. And, we didn't lose anything. We did not have a yellow flag did not come out. He basically dropped off the racing surface, didn't stop on the track, and therefore yellow did not come out.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising, because of how we are getting pushy there at the bottom.
Little dicey.
Yeah. iRacing can be very intentional, or it could not call a thing, depending on how it deems how dangerous a caution is. Now, admins can always throw cautions. That is another side of this. But again, that didn't happen there in this scenario. So we stay green, racing now 67, coming to 68 laps complete here at Atlanta. We appreciate you tuning in tonight to the IWM Broadcast Network of the iNASCAR Racing Series.
When we're just about to come up to the halfway, we're past the halfway point. When's the next round of pit stops?
It is coming soon. It is going to be probably within the next 10 laps, I'd say, because they came in about lap 45, I'll call it. So we're about 23 laps into this stint. So I think the next 10, let's call it 10 to 15. 10 to 15 laps, so roughly about lap 70, 75, you'll see some action. Oh, got a lot of action on the bottom line, though, Rick. That bottom line seems very unstable comparatively to the high line, causing him to slip back, and now we have some lap down cars that are battling side by side. That is the 11, the Thurman machine, as well as the 21 from Gene Duda.
Seeing a lot more movement as these guys are trying to find their way up. They're realizing, I'm sure, as everyone else is, we're at 70 laps here with just 60 laps to go. This race is going by fast, and if you're just hanging back around, 25 positions, you need to think about how can I get to the front.
Oh, we got a car on the wall. That is the 21 machine. He's still in the wall.
There's a lot of avoidance going on right now as they're trying to avoid hitting him. The 67 is right there. You got the 8. That's Josh Douglas behind there.
So I remember I said something in the pre-race, Rick. Don't go 3 wide. I know why I said don't go 3 wide. It's tough.
Looking back up front, Jordan Wenzel is currently your leader. I'm sorry, Jordan Booth, and Jordan Wenzel is sitting right there. We got John Krupa in the 29, all battling up front. I think as soon as we call out who is leading, it's going to change. All right, lap 73 in the books. And we have got some great racing here with these iNASCAR drivers. Again, just showing how to get around here at Atlanta. But at some point, you've got to make a decision because time is ticking away.
It is, and right now, you're thinking about, okay, when do I come down pit road? When do I make a move with my team? And what we're going to see is we are going to see a spread out field. It's natural. Over time, it may pick back up, but right now, if you come down pit road, it's going to be all split up because you're going to lose delta. You're going to have a lot of gaps between these cars, and as we saw on the last pit stops, the track was basically full of cars. We have basically the entire field in a half a corner right now. So that's not going to keep up. And once that pit stop changes, once they happen, whoever's out front, again, track position is so important. So I think getting on pit road first is vital. I think it's so important to do. As long as you have teammates.
Teammates are going to be critical, especially if you're looking to try and find a gap or a way to get in. You can see the matching paint schemes with the 40 XLI guys. You're definitely looking for a teammate. Watching that 81 of Jordan Wenzel there. He's right behind the 41 of Jordan Booth. It's the Jordan and Jordan show going on right now.
Jordan squared out front in the top line.
And you got to figure that you got the Jonathan Varanakis car right there in the 72, 1, 2, 3, and then the 39 of Kai Collimore right there.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, the finishing order of last week's race. We've seen, Kai do very well. Obviously, Jordan Booth and Jordan Wenzel, Varanakis there. Varanakis, excuse me.
And it just
and
looks
that
like
72 looking to get a win.
It's like the high line is the way to go here, John.
It definitely is. It looks like it is the place to be. Especially because of the fact that the inside line is kind of dissipated and you have a lot more control of your car, oddly enough, in the high line, I believe. So we'll see how this plays out, as we should be approaching pit stops literally any moment now. These guys should be coming down pit road here anytime now. So we'll see when those pit stops happen. Will we see the 40 XLI guys come down pit road together? Will we see them not? Will we see them kind of split up? Well, we're about to find out here, as that outside line is getting very close to the wall. I don't know if you that.
Yeah.
It is slowly creeping up.
So with 50 laps left to go, how far can you stretch this to avoid a two-stop finish? Can you stretch it? Because we saw some guys running 45 laps, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can run 44, which we might see our first taker right now. And, what those leaders just did, moving to the bottom line, Rick, what that tells me is they're coming by next time. That is what that tells me. So if I'm the guys behind them, I would pit.
It's going to be a wild time on pit road.
Yeah, yes it will. We'll see if my hypothesis is correct. Is Jordan Booth and Jordan Wenzel, all these guys coming down pit road this time?
About halfway down the backstretch, they'll need to drop below that line.
No, they did not. Not this time.
Nope. So here we are, lap 82, about to be into lap 83.
Approaching 40 laps on this set.
So if you make it to 85, that leaves 45 laps left. You've been pretty much green flagged the entire time. Can you make 45?
I think it's going to be very close. I think if they can do it, they need to get to about lap 48, or my bad, 88. That will help me out a little bit, because that'll be exactly 43 laps. Obviously not including any caution laps that we had under caution the last time at the stage break. So I think it's going to be close. I think they need to string it out just a little bit longer, or not. Let's come down pit road right now. Well, they are going to make this.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think they're hoping that it's going to be a one-stop, last-stop event right now, because everybody else pitted at the same time.
They did, and Looks like everybody got slowed down enough, I believe. So that's going to be our first round of pit stops here. Let's call it lap 85, essentially. You got some guys hitting the line. So that is going to put a new set of leaders out into the front of this race.
That's
be James Jones.
That's 4 sets of tires for Jordan Booth. And going back up front, James Jones takes over. His car says top split across the hood.
Top split brotherhood. It's kind of cool. I like that.
So, just so if you're curious, like what does that mean? If you're a member of iRacing and you do sim racing, the top split is the each race that's scheduled in the regular sessions on iRacing. The highest ranked iRating becomes the top split, and iRacing breaks the. If 100 people decide to race in that session, it ranks them by their iRating. And so that the number 1 split, the top split, is all the guys with the best possible rating.
Rick, I want us to go back to Alberto Abar on the front stretch on lap 85. Almost had a caution. We need to go back and take a look at that. He bounced off of 2 different cars, and no caution was waived. We definitely need to go back and take a look at that because I think that damaged multiple vehicles there. I think it was Glenn Stanley as well as Alex Forget. Go back to about lap 85, I think, or 86, my bad. At lap 86, coming to 87 on the front stretch. Had a pretty big incident, but no caution. With Alberto Abar.
Let's see if we do have him in our sights here.
This should be it as he comes down in the front stretch. You'll see him makes contact with the 03. The 03 makes contact with him, and then he bounces off the car behind him. We're right here.
Oh, the 19 gets involved. 7's hard into the wall, and that trying to see that orange and blue car.
That was Glenn Stanley.
Glenn Stanley was also. They kept it pointing the straight way, but I think on his right front he has got a toe link issue.
He definitely does, and I'm just kind of confused. Like,
well, they all continued going. They all moved forward. No one stopped on the racing surface.
They didn't. I was just confused why he came back down the track and got the 19. I mean, it was kind of an odd. Unless he had a toe link broke there. I mean, definitely major damage for that machine. So maybe he didn't have control, but I'm surprised that didn't cause any more carnage than it did. But I caught that in the corner of my eye when you were talking about the top split. So definitely some interesting happenings now in the race. Drivers of very strong talent that could have been contenders, possibly have damage and possibly could be out of the race. But right now, Alex Murphy leading this pack now, followed by Jonathan Varanauskis, Jordan Wenzel, Jordan Booth, and Eric Jeffers. And Rick, look at that field. It is entirely split up.
Yep, you've got these little groups broken up pretty much. You know, how you went into the pit with the group you went into, that's how you're coming out. My guess is that we'll begin to see these linking back up. I believe these guys think that they have enough fuel and tires to make it to the end of this race.
I think that could be correct.
But now you're Alex Murphy. You're now leading. You've pitted lap 84. You're doing your best to hold on. Now Alex started 6th. He's got Jonathan Varanauskis behind him, Jordan Wenzel, Jordan Booth, Eric Jeffers. Let's bring up the current ticker. Let's show where people are. Now that gap is showing there too. You can see going back, you know, once we get past the first 10 guys, the 11th place car is 6 seconds off. And then by the time we get to 17th, they're 10 seconds off. got some guys mixed in that top 5 group. I believe that they are lap traffic.
You do. So you have Alex Murphy leading of this pack, followed by Jonathan Varanauskas, and then you have Ron Fitting, who's in 27th, Tyler Thurmond in 34th, and Eddie Masso Jr. 35th.
Exactly. Yeah, you got some lap cars that are hanging up there.
Looking on back though, Rick, that second pack, led by Eric Jeffers, is catching them. They are there. Now have got the gap down to 2.4 seconds.
Yep, they are catching. Of course, if you're up there and you're running and you do have some lap cars that are kind of helping you out, you're hoping that they stay with you. But they may not. You've got that 81 running you down. Sure what was going on with Michael Whitley. Okay, he was check into that. Did he see if he went off the track, or was he in? Because he was not in
Michael
for a
Whitley?
pit stop. Yeah, but he was just kind of, maybe he had a connection issue.
Let's see. Yep, it looked like he was blinking on the front stretch.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I saw his name cascade down through our tower and did not add up. So all right, thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR Racing Series. We're here each and every Thursday night, and we are here tonight in the Ambetter Health 200 at Atlanta. And these guys have really just rocking it. We've been pretty much caution free with the exception of a stage break at lap 43. You've had green flag pit stops all around here. We've got our fingers crossed that we'll continue to race like this, but we have seen some fantastic racing, green flag pit stops, and strategy.
We have, so we'll see. We'll see how this plays out now with just about 32 laps to go.
So what I'm seeing here, John, I'm sure you're seeing it as well. You've got these 40 XLI guys that they were running nose to tail, but now they jumped up to the high line. It's like they left the 40 of Brandon Hayes down on that low line. They're now up against the bumper of the 81 of Jordan Wenzel. That is Jordan Booth and Kai Collmore right there on that outside line. 30 of Alex Murphy is now sitting in 4th, and the 7-2 of Varanakis is now sitting in 5th.
The cream always rises to the top, so we'll see who is able to get this. Oh, Wenzel hits the wall going into turn 1. That is not what you want.
Yeah, that's not going to help you at all.
No,
not
much.
That's not him, though. That looked like to be, that's the 30 of Alex Murphy. He kind of hung out that hind end a bit and maybe just dragged it along the safer barrier.
Should be okay as we now approach 28 laps to go here tonight in the Ambetter Health 200. Folks, this has been a fantastic broadcast, a fantastic race to tune into. This could be I'll consider it a flag-to-flag race. That stage break, obviously. Yep, that flag was, that caution flag was not for an accident. It was for a stage break. So far we've been flagged. Well, we haven't had any other flags. Hopefully we don't, other than the white and the checkers. So we appreciate all the support and hope you enjoyed today's race. It's been a great one so far. Stick around. We will be interviewing the podium finishers, first and third, after the race. So stick around to see if your driver, maybe Wenzel or Booth, or maybe Jeffers, Bennett, Whitley, maybe Surprise, maybe Cody Graham, Corey Ennis. You never know who's going to win here on these super speedway style races. Stick around to the end to see that interview, or hear that interview rather.
So this is outside of the top 10. This is Tyler Lem, you have Clark Franz, Vernon Broadbeck, Tony Japs, Nick Alves, Sean Walton out here. They're just outside of that top 10. Going back a little farther, that's another group with Garrett Walden, Corey Bunch. I guess that's the last car on that group. That's actually the 88 of Mark Hanna, although Mark is actually not on the lead lap. Back a little farther, you do have the 7 of Alberto Abar. Right now running in 24th, John Krupa, Richard Mills. And then our final car on the lead lap is the 46 of Simon Magin. All right, headed back up front with our leaders. 81 of Jordan Wenzel out front, 41 of Jordan Booth and Ty Calabor. That's 1, 2, 3 with 25 laps to go. Just an altogether fabulous race so far, John.
Absolutely, it's been a great one so far. Could have asked for anything more. With 24 to go, we'll see who's able to make it out on top to win the second race of this iNRS season. Right now, you got Wenzel. Could Wenzel go back-to-back at Atlanta, lock himself into the playoffs, or can Jordan Booth go back-to-back here in the Cup Series at Daytona and now at Atlanta? We'll see.
You know, this is a very interesting series. Our next race at next week, I think we go to another 1.5 miles to Las Vegas.
And that's going to be a totally different race, Rick. You're going to see a little bit of drafting, but you're not going to see anything like this. It's going to be tire saving, fuel mileage. It's going to be a totally different environment. We'll see who. That's going to be a really good judge on who can actually race the car and leverage their tools at hand, and who can wheel a car on a track where you need, Yeah,
I mean, because it's all about, in my personal opinion, that becomes the art of driving in iRacing, because you've really got to balance tire wear and, more importantly, tire temperature in that right place. So 22 laps to go. I think that was the 21 of Papi Duda, who's dropped onto pit road. A little bit of wall contact with the 40 XLI guys. Jordan Wenzel continues to show us the way, but he's got a couple hard charges right in his rear view mirror. Let's go on board with Jordan Booth.
Let's do it.
We'll let Jordan take us around a lap or two here in Atlanta. You can see that you've got a lap down car, looks like, right beneath them. But you can tell right from that shot there, you don't have a lot of visibility. You've got the tail end of the car in front of you. Obviously, you've got your rear view mirror there. Let's get this tower out of the way here. You've got your side mirror. That's giving you some information.
I love these in-car cams because you're able to see everything, Rick. I mean, it's a battle of inches, and who's going to make the move? You got 18 laps. You know, what's going to be the deciding factor? Who's going to make that move and win?
He gets a great run coming out of 2. Right, snugs right up against the bumper of Jordan Wenzel. You hear him back out just a little bit because he does not need to hammer down or he's going to wind up moving Jordan out of the way, which he may want to do.
I mean, not saying anybody should do that, but it's always an option. But Rick, I got to make a point. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, good bump. He's pushing Jordan right down that backstretch.
He is, and Rick, we have an inside line starting in the form with Brendan Hayes, the other 40 XLI guy. You have the 99 of Tyler Lim behind him, Vernon Broad back into 10. Tony Japs in the 42 car, followed by James C. Jones in the 45 and Nick Alves in the 15. That inside line has started to form back up. Well, what is this outside line going to do?
Well, they got 15 laps to pull it together here. Now there's 2 distinct groups now, led by the 43. That's Garrett Walden, but they've got at least 6 seconds back in front of this group.
They do. Oh, Jordan Wenzel got extremely loose in the tri-oval, and those 40 XLI guys, they want to work together. We may see another run where the 39 and the 41 decide to switch lanes. And here we are. They're going to try to work together again. 39's in the wall. Here comes the 99.
That's Tyler
on
Lim.
The inside line. Yep. Tyler Lim in that 99 Coca-Cola machine. Trying to power away, but look at the high side. No, you're not seeing triple. Those are all teammates. Jordan Booth, Kai Collmore, and the 40 machine of Brendan Hayes all together with 13-14 to go.
They're out of order, John.
They are.
Let them know.
We should. If we end up talking to all 3 of them. Oh, contact.
More contact. You got is that the 10 of Vernon Broadbeck there? He's got a little bit of a tap. They backed out of that.
Yeah, if we get all 3 of those 40 XLI guys in the booth, we bring them all in and say, don't even say, hey, how's your race? Oh, great win. Why did you finish out of order? That's the Oh, that's a high push there. Kai, we'll see what happens now. We are approaching 12 laps to go.
They are
here
still
at Atlanta.
Pushing hard.
We are, or they are. We're not pushing. We're not in the race.
Nope.
But we have 16 cars now in this lead pack, with another pack of about 8 to 9 cars about 6.2 seconds back of the leader. So we may see that second pack. It's going to be close. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it, but we may see the second pack start to form back up. But right now, Rick, it is side-by-side action for the win. Jordan Wenzel on the bottom line, Jordan Booth on the high line, not giving each other an inch.
Well, no, I think you're going to see some side drafting happening here to really upset the way that these lines are formed. I mean, that's the only thing you got. There you go. The 41 of Jordan Booth dropping down. Is it going to stall out that line?
I guess. Are we seeing the 10 come down pit road? The 10 is making his way down pit road as well as some other drivers. Oh, no. Strategy not working? Are we going to have to see another pit stop?
11 laps to go. There's 3 on pit road. Broadbeck, Friends, more than that. There's Walton and Varanakis are all on pit road. Ron Fitting is on pit road.
Well, folks, our math may have been off. Here comes Jordan Wenzel down pit road in the 81 all by himself. We will have to pit again.
Well, you know, he was leading up front. That's just going to suck more fuel out of your tank.
It is, but, I mean, 9 laps? That's a lot.
Yep, yep.
39 gets a little bit loose. 40 lets him in. But we have 9 laps to go here. Here comes the teammates. Here we go. You got the 99 of Tyler Lim as well joining them. So, yep, we have to have another round of pit stops here with 9 laps to go 8 to go at the line.
We're going to watch that speed as Jordan Booth comes down. Ooh, that was pretty tight.
That was, and now this puts the 12 of Eric Jeffers out front.
This is a fuel-only stop for Jordan Booth, 6.4 seconds.
Leader is just now passing the start-finish line, so Jordan Booth will be a lap down. Eric Jeffers has yet to come down pit road. When will they make their way down pit road now with 7 to go? Here comes another dry. Oh, here they come. Here's the 12. Here's the 01. It's Eric Jeffers. Travis Bennett. And Jeffers is hot. He's hot. He's hot. Uh-oh. Oh, he slowed down. Whoa. He hit the brakes trying to overcompensate for running fast down pit road and absolutely just brake checked the 01. Hope that 01 doesn't have any damage.
6 laps to go. Going back out with our leaders now. Matthew Robinson and Nick Alves out front. They pitted last on lap 87 and 88. So Alves, Robinson, and Richard Mills. Alex Forget-Berube also pitted last on lap 86. They are your top 4 with 5 laps to go. You know, they're running all this time in the back. Did you save any fuel, you think?
I mean, they have to save 5 laps. I mean, if they could save 5 laps, I will be thoroughly impressed.
The thing is, they came in on lap 87 and 88. That was at least 3 laps farther along than everybody else.
Correct. I mean, that could be the move of the race. But, Rick, I'd be very weary of the Jordan Booth train and Kai Collimore. They are very close to these guys. Very close. There they are. They just entered the screen. If I was in that one car, I would be pushing the you-know-what out of the 13 because they are coming. They are coming fast. 3 laps to go.
But remember,
here at Atlanta.
They're a lap down. They need to pass them and then make it all the way back around.
Oh, you're right. But still, it doesn't matter to me. I would still push.
Richard Mills has dropped off. He's now on pit road. That leaves just Alves, Robinson, and Berube out there who have not pitted yet.
Yellow flag.
Caution's
Yellow flag's out.
Caution's out.
Why?
I have no idea.
There's nothing on my end.
There's some big damage on the front of John Krupa. Let's see if we can focus on John, see if that was part of the yellow flag. This is only an estimate on my side. Oh, that's contact with the 7. Damage.
That shouldn't have caused a caution.
Does not go into pit road. Comes back up on the track. Yeah, I can't explain it.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because we've seen cars completely wrecked and it didn't throw one, but that time it did.
All right. So let's go back. This obviously changes up now. The 2 guys that stayed out, Alves and Robinson, have hit the pits, and they're now coming out.
Man, that's strategy. They had it. They had it down. It would have worked too, I think.
Yep. Now you've
got. That's heartbreaking.
Yep. Forget-Berube is now coming down. Guess he's going to make his way down pit road. He pitted last on lap 86. And he'll be in. So I do not know how this is. Here's Jordan Booth coming in as well. I do not know how this is going to finish out.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I know we have a green-white checker. But everybody that was behind those 3 leaders should still have to pass them, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it's all going to stack up. They may wind up just back up in first, and everybody else got their lap back.
That's how I would. Oh, be careful. That's how I would view this. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. You know what I mean? I mean, they were out front. Everybody was a lap behind them. They have to come down pit road.
Then the rest of the field would get the wave around, right? Since they came down pit road.
Yep. And then that would mean that the 12 or the 13 would still have their position.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the tower to and the powers that be to restack this field. I'm at a loss. With just 3 laps to go, we will finish under a green-white checker situation. It's a relatively minor incident that brought out the yellow flag here at the tail end of this race. We're currently still focusing on Nick Alves and Matthew Robinson here. They are currently showing in our telemetry as the current leaders, but we'll see how this all plays out. And you never know, admin may add a lap or two to...
They just did.
They did? There you go. To get this field to come together. And I think you've got the rest of the field making their way around. So this is going to be a very interesting situation. We have not seen Nick Alves, Matthew Robinson, and Alex Forget-Berube up front this entire race. And now here they are, 1, 2, 3. And then right behind them are the 40 XLI guys of Kai Collmore, Brandon Hayes, and Jordan Booth right in their rearview mirror. So lucky number 13 will be, I believe, the control car.
Should be.
And then he's got the 1 to his outside, Matthew Robinson. The 19 slides in behind your current leader, Nick Alves. And then right now it shows there is a 3 up there. I don't see him in my telemetry.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
That's Ron.
It's showing
Fitting.
Him.
Well, that's
showing
maybe
him in 36th.
So is that the outside line?
He's a lap down. So those are the lap down guys. Everybody behind him are all the guys who got the wave around. This is going to be a very odd restart.
Yeah.
Because, and Rick, here's the most important thing. You cannot change lanes. I would imagine they have this rule here in iNRS. You can't change lanes until you get to the start-finish line. I would assume that's correct, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have 30-plus cars in a single
file line with only, really, 2 laps.
This reminds me of NASCAR before double file restarts.
Well, but this is got to be the best play of the game for Alves, Robinson, and Berube.
Oh, it's the greatest call that I've seen so far in this series. Well, either way, pace car. 3 laps to go. We're green flag racing. Green-white checker underway. The 13 gets the lead on the 1 of Matt Robinson. Yeah, Rick, look at the field. They're all stacked up. They can't do anything.
Nope, they're trapped. And now with the 19 dropping in, that's a 3-car pack. All they got to do is hold it.
They just got to hold it and see what happens. But behind them, you have, I believe, you have that 21 machine who's going to the high line now, but that's a 7 as well. Yeah, these guys, if they finish like this, they got the race. White flag. White flag in the air for Nick Alves, Rick.
XLI guys, they're just boxed. Oh, contact behind.
We're wrecking in the back. That's the 40 XLI guys.
That's
we have a big
everybody.
pile up in turn 2. Oh, that's the whole field. Big one out of turn 2. We're still racing to the line, Rick. Nick Alves has the lead to 13. Strategy is the name of the game. And the 13 of Nick Alves is going to win here in the Ambetter Health 200, followed by the 1 of Matt Robinson, the 19 of Alex Forget. Wow.
All right, that was so crazy.
That was crazy. We got a couple extracurricular activities after the race.
I think there's a lot of bent feelings right now.
That's all I got to say, Rick, is, yeah, a lot of not happy drivers. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. So here we are. This race has been called. Let's see. We're waiting on the final results to be posted. There were a lot of wrecked cars. They would all have to cross the start-finish line before we can get some official all
right. Well, hey. You know what I got to say? That is the most strategic way to end a race that I've ever seen here. I mean, that caution actually played out very well in their favor, I think. And there it is. There is your final results for tonight's Ambetter Health 200 in Atlanta.
All three teammates, Alves, Robinson, and Forget Barubi.
Boom.
Boom.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Nick Alves, Robinson, Barubi, your top 3 out of Performance Motorsports. With Kai Collymore finishing in 4th, Tyler Lemon 5th, Alex Murphy in 6th, Michael Whitley Jr. in 7th, Richard Mills in 8th, Jonathan Varanaskis in 9th, with Vernon Broadbeck finishing in 10th.
Corey Ennis finishes in 11th, Sean Walton in 12th, Jordan Booth in 13th, Corey Bunch in 14th, Josh Douglas finishes in 15th, Garrett Walden in 16th, Jordan Wenzel in 17th. In 18th, you've got Scott Thomas, 19th, Clark Franz, and Cody Graham finishes in 20th.
In 21st, you have Brendan Hayes, Matt Piracini finishes in 22nd, James Jones in 23rd, Alberto Abar in 24th, Tony Japson 25th, John Krupa 26th, Simon Madgen there in 27th, Eric Jeffers 28th, Travis Bennett, 29th, and Mike Wheel in 30th.
Martin Giroux finishes in 31st, Mark Hanna 32nd, Tyler Thurman 33rd, Eddie Musso in 34th, Gene Duda in 35th, Ron Fitting in 36th, Tyler Sexton finishes in 37th, and Glenn Stanley in 38th, 39th, Dan Hughes, and 40th was Jason Hale. All right, so that was just absolutely, and you know what? These guys are already in the waiting room. They want to jump in. They want to talk about this strategy, I am sure. All right, Alex, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you, sir.
That was awesome. Tell us a little bit about that strategy coming to that last pit stop.
Well, me and my teammates, we knew that we could run a little bit further than all those guys that started pitting close to the end of the race, of the finish. So we decided to let me up front, since I was a lap car, to help them try to save the fuel that they needed. And since I passed them and they were the leader, I got my lap back when the caution came out. So we were the top 3 instantly.
That was just
crazy.
Awesome. It was. No, it was masterful. Masterful.
I did the most of the race a lap down, struggling, trying to keep it up with the lead and everything, and at the end that happened.
That was great. Tell us a little bit about any shout outs tonight.
I have to say hello to my girlfriend watching. My mom is also watching. My teammates, they're amazing. Bennett missed the show today. We were struggling in qualifications, so big shout out to him. I know he was with us tonight the entire way. He supported me while I was a bit negative about being a lap down and everything, so I really gotta thank him. And SQDC, everything on my car, all these guys that help me come every week and have fun while racing. I have to thank them all. And yeah, that was a fun race.
Oh, absolutely. And, we ran so long without any real cautions. It was just great to watch. So we just brought Mr. Matt Robinson in the room. Congratulations on your P2 finish.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We were just talking with Alex. That was just really masterful planning. You guys did a great job. We were, strategizing as we saw that you guys all pitted a little bit later than the current leaders, and clearly that played to your advantage.
Yeah, staying out the first couple pit stops, even just the extra lap, it just cleared up getting into pit road and made it a lot easier for us to get in. Also, I mean, we were half lap short on fuel that last run. So if the yellow didn't come out, I mean, we would have cruised, but I don't know if anybody would have caught us either.
Yeah, it was pretty close. You guys had that one lap advantage over the rest of the leaders, but just phenomenal racing, great teamwork and planning for certain. Any shout outs tonight, Matt?
Shout out to my wife, my kids, my parents. They're always watching. My sponsors, Allo Barbershop Performance. My teammates are fantastic. I love these guys. That's about it. It's a great way to start the year.
Absolutely. And so without any further ado, Nick Alves, congratulations on your win here in Atlanta.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So we were just, and if you go back and watch the replay, we were just trying to figure out who was going to stop these 40 XLI guys, and it was you guys. Just great planning.
Yeah, I mean, so we're part of another league as well that we're teammates in, and we joined this league with another buddy of ours. He unfortunately wasn't able to qualify into this race, but we work very well together, especially at super speedways. We take pride in working together as a team, and it showed that today with the strategy call. And then I know Alex was a lap down, and me, obviously, I heard you guys say that Maddie was telling you guys we were half a lap short. So we told Alex to go in front of us because he was also a lap short, but he could at least help us save a little bit more because he was a lap down. But with him in front of us and the caution coming out, he was able to essentially be on the lead lap, come all the way around with us, pit with us, end up 1, 2, 3, and that's how we ended up crossing the line.
That was awesome. Yeah, it was great to watch you guys finish like that. We certainly felt the strategy, and we're just amazed at how y'all pulled it together. Well, congratulations on your finish, Nick. Any shout outs for tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to my teammates Maddie and Alex, obviously for the outstanding teamwork tonight. Got to shout out our other teammate Bennett who didn't make the race, but you guys will know his name pretty well pretty soon when he makes some races. And then Coastal Financial, my main sponsor, they do a great job for me and us as teammates. So, and also a big shout out to you guys. Appreciate the broadcast. Watched the Daytona one. Was really happy with that one. Can't wait to go back and watch this one as well.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. We're looking forward to next week. Next week we will be in Las Vegas for more of a traditional mile and a half. More of definitely more calculating, more strategy there. But we thank everybody for tuning in tonight to the iNASCAR Racing Series Ambetter Health 200 here in Atlanta. Your winner, Nick Alves, brings it home and punches his ticket into the playoffs. So for myself and John and the rest of the IWM support staff here at the IWM Broadcast Network, we thank you for tuning in to us, and we look forward to seeing you next week with the iNRS series. Thanks, and have a great night.